We running now?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Good to go.
We find ourselves here in Camden in the studio yet again, Meta.
I know, but it's becoming like home, I think. And I'm enjoying every time we do one of these episodes. And this one's going to be a special one. So season 1 of the Metaforecast, episode 4.
And episode 4, and potentially season finale for season 2 of Speak Easy with Haroon. Conversations with artists, creatives, and troublemakers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the last time you and I were in a studio together, or any of the last times I ever asked you which one you actually fall under, Meta.
As a creative troublemaker, and what was the other one?
Artist.
I think I might be the middle one. I don't know. What is there a difference between creative and artist?
I mean, that itself is a really big debate,
yeah,
isn't it? Like the distinction between these different, we're writers and poets, so you know we could sit here all day splitting hairs over that. I think for me, a lot of what we can do is art, even cooking.
Yeah,
but
true.
I think, like for me, you know, a copywriter, for example, is a creative, but they're not an artist.
Ah, okay. So you I think with artists you kind of subscribe to the idea of, like, you know, the classical forms of art.
Yeah, but I'm a walking contradiction. So I do believe that actually art can go beyond those definitions.
I believe so. I think people can be creative in fields that are seen to be more logical and more, you know, scientific. Because I think science is quite creative as well.
Yeah, but I think I use those different labels because ultimately I want to give people and guests on my podcast a little bit of choice as to how they want to self-identify. Because, for example, someone might come on the podcast and, you know, they're more of like a entrepreneur, or they might not identify as the creative or the artist, but they might just identify as a troublemaker because they're probably challenging a way of doing things within how they conduct their business. So yeah.
I mean, most creative and entrepreneurial endeavors are disruptive businesses where they kind of break the status quo of things that have been traditionally done for the past decade or so.
Yes and no. I mean, I challenge that just because a lot of what actually is the backbone of most economies is just a lot of people running businesses that aren't necessarily groundbreaking, but they just fulfill certain needs. But I think the very act of just being self-employed, being a freelancer, working for yourself, that still disrupts the expectation or the social expectation of just like go get a job, you know, work it, you know, tolerate it, come home, etc., etc. And let's just give a little bit more context to everyone who's listening and watching.
Yeah, kind of like a pseudo intro.
Yeah, let's just do a little bit of an intro because they may not have tuned into the first 3 episodes. So do you want to start with giving some context and I'll build?
Yeah, so for people watching for the first time, I'm the Metaforest. I'm a spoken word artist / creative entrepreneur, I guess. And I started the Metaforecast in order to kind of get a deeper understanding of the artists that I admire and that are emerging in the scene that I'm in.
Which scene is that?
The poetry scene in London, but hopefully across the UK and worldwide. We want that worldwide domination. But also to kind of expand upon my own knowledge by interviewing people that are probably in my life that I had no idea in regards to their industry, and then maybe kind of, you know, glean some sort of knowledge or better understanding of what they do. What about yourself?
Okay, my name is Haroon, and yeah, how you and I met was on the spoken word poetry scene in London. Yeah. I'm a poet, also a DJ. I like to make beats. I like writing poetry for stage and page. Like yourself, I'm a creative entrepreneur. So my day job, I work as a copywriter. I have my own business, so I write for other companies, particularly in technology And one of my big focuses is I love writing sort of customer success stories and case studies to help my clients turn their positive customer experiences into a story that can help them sell more. And in addition to that, what else? I set up Speak Easy with Haroon, the podcast, during the pandemic. A lot of the footage is still in the can. I haven't actually released it as of recording this. By the time this airs, season 1 will have hit. I think I definitely grappled with a lot of, I guess, procrastination, imposter syndrome, a lot of things that I've actually been overcoming a lot more. I don't think it's a coincidence, like me overcoming a lot of these challenges and starting to actually get work to the point where it's going to actually be released out into the world. To me, that definitely correlates with a period in my life where I've been leaning a lot more into community and relationships and building up like my own little circle of creatives, of which you're one. And some of the other people we've had on the podcast, such as Charney, Jody, George, and there's a lot of people who are not here today or in previous podcasts who we probably will get on our shows.
Definitely.
And the way that you and I got on the podcast, get into the studio together, was I think we figured that we could collaborate where we've got our separate podcasts, but we could do episodes together.
Yeah.
Where we could then go and take, those interviews and basically use them in our own platforms. The reason I got into podcasting is because I absolutely love people. I love people, I love creatives, and I love artists. I love having conversations and really getting into people's motivations. Like, why do they do what they do? Why have they stuck with certain things that they've done, even though there could have been maybe easier things they could have done, things with less friction, whether it's just the hardships or the knockbacks, or even just because there are other things that could have been a lot more financially viable for them.